Have you ever felt like you're standing at the edge of something significant, something life-changing, but you can't quite see what's ahead? There's a restlessness in your spirit, a sense that your season is shifting, and you keep asking God for a sign, for clarity, for confirmation. What if I told you that God has already begun answering that prayer? What if the signs you've been desperately seeking are already appearing in your life, but you've been too focused on the noise around you to recognize them? The truth is, when God is about to move you into your next season, He doesn't leave you in the dark. He confirms it, He prepares you, and He speaks in ways that are undeniable. And one of those signs, the fifth one we're going to talk about today, is so specific, so detailed, that when you hear it, you'll know without a shadow of a doubt that your move is next. Welcome, welcome, welcome to God's Prophecy Message channel, where we deliver divine messages straight to your spirit. If you're new here, I want you to know that you didn't stumble upon this video by accident. God orchestrated this moment because there's a word here specifically for you. This isn't just another motivational message or generic encouragement. This is prophetic insight that will help you recognize where you are in God's timeline and what He's about to do in your life. Before we dive deep into these 7 undeniable signs, I need you to do something for me. If you're ready to receive this word, if you're ready for God to move you into your next season, type in the comments right now, "I receive." Say it with faith, say it with expectation, because your declaration activates something in the spiritual realm. Also, if this message is already speaking to your spirit, go ahead and hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to God's Prophecy Message channel with your notifications turned on so you never miss a prophetic word that could change your life. And for those of you who feel led to support this ministry and help us reach more souls with these divine messages, you can do so through the Super Thanks button right under this video, or by donating through our Buy Me Coffee link in the description. Your support doesn't just bless this channel, it becomes seed that God multiplies back into your life. Now, let me paint a picture of what many of you have been experiencing lately. There's been this underlying tension in your spirit, this awareness that something is ending and something new is beginning. You felt restless in places that used to feel comfortable. You've been questioning things you never questioned before. You've been sensing that the life you've been living is no longer the life you're meant to be living. Some of you have even felt guilty about this restlessness, wondering if you're being ungrateful or if you're somehow missing God's purpose in your current season. But what if I told you that this restlessness isn't rebellion, it's revelation? What if that discomfort you're feeling is actually God loosening your grip on what was, so you can reach for what's next? The Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." God operates in seasons, and He's strategic about transitioning you from one season to the next. He doesn't just throw you into something new without preparation. He doesn't shift you without warning. Instead, He begins to speak through signs, through circumstances, through divine confirmations that let you know your move is coming. And when these signs start appearing in clusters, when they start showing up repeatedly and consistently, that's when you know you're not imagining things. That's when you know God is orchestrating your next. The first sign that your move is next is this: you've been experiencing a divine dissatisfaction with your current circumstances. Now, I need you to understand the difference between ungrateful complaining and divine dissatisfaction. Ungrateful complaining is when you're constantly negative about everything, when you refuse to see the blessings in your present, when you're bitter and resentful about where God has placed you. Divine dissatisfaction is completely different. Divine dissatisfaction is when you're grateful for where you are. You recognize the lessons God has taught you in this season. You appreciate the growth and the maturity you've gained, but you also feel a deep knowing that there's more. You feel a stirring in your spirit that whispers, this isn't your final destination. You feel a holy discomfort that makes it impossible to settle where you are. This divine dissatisfaction isn't about ingratitude, it's about divine destiny. God plants this feeling in your spirit when He's preparing to promote you, when He's about to expand your territory, when He's getting ready to open doors you didn't even know existed. Think about how Abraham felt when God told him to leave everything familiar and go to a land he'd never seen. Think about how Moses felt when God called him from the wilderness to deliver an entire nation. Think about how Ruth felt when she made the decision to leave Moab and journey to Bethlehem with Naomi. All of these biblical figures experienced divine dissatisfaction before God moved them into their purpose. They felt that stirring, that restlessness, that holy discomfort that said, "Your next chapter is waiting, but you have to be willing to turn the page." Proverbs chapter 4, verses 18 and 19 tell us, "But the path of the just is as the shining light, that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness, they know not at what they stumble." God's plan for your life is progressive. It's meant to shine brighter and brighter. If you've been feeling like your light has been dimming in your current situation, if you've been feeling like you're not shining the way you're meant to shine, that's a sign. That's God showing you that where you are isn't where you're supposed to stay. Your dissatisfaction isn't a problem, it's a prophecy. It's God's way of telling you that He's about to shift things in your favor. The second sign that your move is next is this. God has been bringing divine connections into your life seemingly out of nowhere. Pay attention to the new people who have recently entered your circle. Pay attention to the unexpected conversations, the random encounters, the people who have suddenly shown interest in your gifts, your vision, your purpose. When God is about to move you, He strategically positions people in your path who have keys to unlock doors you can't open yourself. These aren't coincidental meetings. These are divine appointments orchestrated by heaven. You might have met someone at a place you don't usually go, or someone from your past suddenly reached out after years of silence, or you connected with someone online who shares your vision and passion. These connections feel different from regular friendships or acquaintances. There's a sense of divine timing about them, a sense that God orchestrated this meeting for a specific purpose. Some of these connections will be mentors who have already walked the path you're about to walk. Some will be collaborators who will partner with you in your next season. Some will be door openers who have access and influence in spaces you need to enter. And some will simply be confirmation, people who speak prophetically into your life and confirm what God has already been telling you in private. Proverbs chapter 27 verse 17 says, "Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend." God knows you can't fulfill your next season alone. He knows you'll need the right people around you, people who will sharpen you, challenge you, support you, and push you toward your destiny. So before He moves you, He connects you. Before He opens the door, He sends the key holders. If you've been experiencing an unusual increase in meaningful connections lately, that's not random. That's God positioning you for your next move. The third sign that your move is next is this. Old doors have been closing, and you've been feeling the pressure of release. This is one of the most uncomfortable signs because it often feels like loss before it feels like gain. You might have lost a job that you thought was secure. You might have experienced the end of a relationship that you believed was your future. You might have had opportunities fall through that seemed perfect on paper. You might have felt friendships drift away that once felt solid. And in the midst of all this closing and releasing, you've questioned God. You've asked why. You've wondered if you did something wrong, if you missed His plan, if you're being punished. But what if those closed doors aren't punishment? They're protection. What if God is closing doors behind you because He's about to open doors in front of you, and He knows you can't walk through the new while you're still holding on to the old? Isaiah chapter 43 verse 18 and 19 declares, "Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing, now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness, and rivers in the desert." God specifically tells you not to focus on former things when He's about to do something new. Why? Because your attention on the old will distract you from the new. Your attachment to what was will prevent you from embracing what's next. When God closed the Red Sea behind the Israelites, it wasn't to trap them, it was to prevent them from running back to Egypt when things got difficult. When God closed the door of the ark, It wasn't to imprison Noah, it was to protect him from the flood that was coming. When God allowed Joseph's brothers to sell him into slavery, it seemed like the end of his dreams, but it was actually the beginning of his destiny. Every closed door in your life right now is strategic.